I think it's been about a month since we talked to you guys last. What's been the vibe like with the guys?
Kind of the same. Guys are doing a good job, real competitive, getting after it. Like the progress we're making. Got a lot of, with so many new guys. We've got a lot to put in yet. A lot of things we need to clean up, but I like the point we're at right now.
You mentioned after the first practice that you were farther along defensively than you'd been in past years. Has that kind of continued?
I think so. It's just kind of the nature of this group to be so competitive. Yeah, we had some slippage in our scrimmage on Saturday that was to be expected to some degree. Would have liked to have seen us, maintain that level that we've had in practice every day. Didn't quite have that, but again, that's why we go have those type of scrimmages. Get some real good stuff on film that we'll learn from and build upon at this point.
Is that the defense you're talking about?
Yeah, for sure. Offensively, we're kind of doing some things in there slowly for them. We need to expand that a little bit here, but I like the point we're at defensively. It feels like games are right around the corner, but we still have quite a few practices left here, so we're not anywhere near ready to play opening night, but I like where we're at.
You told us Cedric Alley was the first black jersey guy. Have you identified some more people for that distinction?
Yeah, we did. Zumbel got one right away shortly thereafter, and then Darius and Phoenix. So we had 4 of them in black jerseys last week and a half, 2 weeks. Those guys have been setting the tone for it. Just solid, aggressive, making the right decisions, and ultimately it's about competing at the right level, and they're doing that.
Is it starting to become more clear who will be the primary scorers for your group, or what that will look like?
We have some ideas, but no, there's still a lot of that kind of stuff to be worked through, roles. We're still experiment with different lineups, different groups, figuring out really what a couple of these newer guys are going to be capable of doing. And, I like our depth right now. We can throw out a lot of different lineups, but certainly have an idea. Juice already proved he can score. Jacob has scored. I think we'll be a lot more by committee, certainly than we've been in the last 2 years. Nobody in the country relied on 2 guys as much as we did, so I think that'll be a drastic change for us.
Is leadership also kind of still being established, or have people sort of stepped up and taken that on already?
Well, different areas, again, with the defensive end, Cedric's been setting the tone with that. That's why he got that first black jersey, just with his effort and talk. And, defensively, he's just so committed. Whether we're trapping something, if we're loading up, whatever the scheme is, he just does it with such conviction, and been a good vocal leader in that regard. Phoenix Ford's a terrific defender. Eric and Darius, just the ball pressure that they provide. So again, different forms of leadership. Adrian Rodriguez, we talked about, it's not even a play for us this year, but he's a guy that just does so much for our program off the court. And, continues to be here and supporting the new guys, and he's kind of a voice of reason for our guys right now.
Steve, what was your reaction to the preseason poll?
I wasn't surprised. I think everybody's, again, looking at what we lost, and so I wasn't too surprised at that. I'm real concerned about what we've got coming back, what we've added, and we're excited about that. So it wasn't a big surprise.
Do you think some of the players are going to use that for fuel this season?
I'm sure they will. We probably do less of that type of thing than most people. We're not real big on the bulletin board material, those types of things. But yeah, I'm sure our guys, some of them might have been surprised by that, even though we've been telling them over and over that, hey, this is what people think, that Vaughn and Keaton carried us, and they were terrific for us. But we got some good quality minutes coming back, and some terrific talent coming in to add to it.
What's really jumped out about Darius Mcneal and what he's brought to your group so far?
Well, he's so committed, and he's always in the gym. He's working. His work ethic is terrific. His desire to be great is terrific. As far as tangible things, just his ball pressure, defense on the ball is really, really good. He just looks like he's built to guard the ball. It looks like his most natural posture is in a defensive stance. So he can heat the ball up. He's really good in transition, pushing it. When we get a little pace going, he's been really good.
Is he kind of a leader from day one, or does it take time for a newcomer to get that respect from the rest of the group?
He is in a lot of regards. Again, with his work ethic, does things right. He's doing a great job around campus in the community, representing us in a first-class fashion. So yeah, some of those natural leadership qualities, he has those. The harder part is everything's new to him. We got some guys, Eric, Zumbel, and Juice, and those guys that have handled the ball and been in those huddles. So as soon as he gets more comfortable with our terminology and what we're putting in, that'll allow him to lead even more.
We know what he brings as a defender, but where does he fit into your picture offensively?
Again, he's pretty good middle ball screens. He's great in transition. You know, he can get to the rim. He can make open shots. He's been a good three-point shooter throughout his career. You know, early on in his career, he was a good three-point shooter. So we're just trying to get him to start the offense when he gets it back, to be aggressive, free up, make plays, and we think he can do that. I mean, he'll have some nights when he'll score a lot of points for us. Some other nights when he's really focused on setting the tone for us.
How's his three ball look right now?
Yeah, again, good. He's
coming around, right?
It is. And that's he's been a good three-point shooter. It's just we just got to get him to free his mind up. You know, there's a lot going on right now, trying to get people where they're supposed to be, learning our system, learning our terminology. And I think the more comfortable he gets with what we're doing, you know, the better the results will be with shooting the basketball.
I noticed in one sequence last week, I noticed Darius hit one, Josh hit a real long one, and I think maybe Jacob hit one on the other end. So like three of them. And,
yeah.
You get them conversed like that from a lot of guys, right?
Well, I hope so. I mean, we got a bunch of guys that can make shots, a bunch of guys that can make plays. So
just because Keaton and Javon are gone doesn't necessarily mean you're a three-point.
Yeah, I mean we're still gonna, you know, those guys were high volume guys and talented guys and got, you know, shot good percentages. You know, again, we just want to be efficient. Bottom line, we want to be efficient. If that's spreading out the wealth a little bit more, then we're fine with that. But you know, again, we got across the board a bunch of different guys that can make threes. I think we get a few guys that can get to the hole. We need to. That's an element we've been talking about for a while. We need to shoot more free throws. You know? So I think we can do that with certain players. So I think it'll be harder to key in on one or two guys like it has been.
Steve, I know you follow football and specifically with the Roadrunner program here. Just what's your take on what Jeff's done with the team?
It's been fantastic. I mean, we're on the inside in some regards, but we're fans on at the same token. We're big fans just like everybody else. So it's been unbelievable watching his kids buy in, you know, and that's kind of the recipe for it, is to have really, really talented guys and get them to, you know, everybody going in the same direction. I think their culture is really, really good right now. Their leadership is fantastic. And, I don't know from where I stand. It starts with Frank. You know, I met him when I got here several years ago, and he just exudes leadership. You talk about leadership, and you just can't be around him for more than a few minutes. And I know he's not the only one. You know, it just seems like he's the guy I bump into the most on campus. And I think he sets the tone for him. It's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch. You know, again, I think the most exciting part of it is what Coach Trader keeps saying is that he's trying to build this. We're all hopeful this is not just a one-off. You know, it's not just a passing in the night here. This is something that can be sustainable, and it's a real credit to him and his staff, but the players as well.